Proverbs 22 verse 1 says that a good name is better to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor is better than silver or gold. Although it is a biblical assertion, it is quite relevant as a man's reputation is based on his character. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk. My name is Olujoke Mosako, and on the show today we will be discussing the topic, a good name is better than riches. My guest is Mrs. Olawumi Aninye. She is a teacher with New York City Department of Education, Public Schools. Stay with us. Thank you so much, Ma, for coming on the show.
Thank you, Olujoke, for having me.
It's another time with you, and I know that it's going to be a swell time with you. Once again, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so what does the Bible mean when it says a good name is better than riches?
This is such an interesting topic that you brought forth. And a good name is better than silver, is better than riches, is better than gold. It's such a big word, a good name. A good name is preferable to riches. A good name is preferable to silver and gold. Don't get me wrong. Money is good. Riches is good. Riches are good. And wealth is good. Gold is awesome. But a good name is the most desired element that anyone should want to have. Because where riches fail, a good name will pass. Where gold fails, a good name will pass. Where silver fails, a good name will pass. So a good name at any point in life, at any stage in life, at any situation and circumstance in life should be desired by everyone. A good name will take us far. A good name will take us to the place of glory. A good name will take us to the place of honor. Riches may disappear. Money may disappear. Silver and gold may be gone. But a good name is going nowhere.
That's really a wonderful one. How do we then relate that to life's reality and daily living as a person?
To relate a good name can be reflective in how we behave, in how we relate with people, in our relationship with others. That's where the good name comes. A good name is how we are able to help other people, because that name that people give us is from their experience, from their relating with us, is the experience from their dealings with us. That is where the good name comes from, or the bad name could come as well. So in our day-to-day living, in our day-to-day operations, we want to ensure that everything that we do has a way to bring us back to a place where we will earn a good name. A good name would come when we do right with people. A good name will come when we do right by the people, either at our places of work, either in the school, either in our business dealings, either in our family or extended family, or in our city, in our state, in our country, in the nation. A good name will come from how we deal with people, how we relate with people, how we interact with people. That is where a good name will come from. When we deal rightfully with people, when we have the right relationship with people, when we say the truth when we're supposed to do that, when we have, compassion or help to other, we lend help to other people when we need to, in our day-to-day relationship, in our day-to-day operations, then the good name will come. Then people would be able to say, oh, she is nice. Oh, she really helped me. Oh, she was there for me. Oh, she is a very wonderful person. That is where the good name comes, is being able to develop for any individual, any person.
When people set out in life, it might sound funny, but I need to ask the question. When people set out in life, do they do it with the intention that, okay, I'm going to soil my forefather's name, or I'm just going to turn out bad in life?
Well, I am sure that it's not intentional. People do not intentionally say, okay, I'm going to do this. It's during the course of life. It's during the journey of life. It's during the the day-to-day dealings and activities where people begin to let down their guards, and then if they're not being careful, then they begin to deal in a way that people will say, oh, he's not a good person, or that's not a good person. It's not intentional. People do not, in my own opinion, I don't think people intentionally want to be bad, but in the course of life, in the journey of life, then things begin to happen. But what we can do is to have a conscious effort, to develop a conscious effort in our hearts, in our mind, in our subconsciousness, that when I'm setting out today, in whatever I am doing, I want to make it good. I want to be impactful in a positive way. I want to do things that are right by the people. That may help us not to fall on the other side where our name, or names get soiled, or our names get, or damaged or tarnished or tainted. If that answered that question.
Wow. Well, I'm sure some people might just be laughing who really do want to fail in life. But I want us to also go down to the formation of the child, the process of forming the child. And what do I mean by that? When the child is being trained right from the very beginning, from that little stage where we all started out in life, the impact of parents. What can you say about that?
Thank you. A philosopher said that the child's heart is a blank slate, is blank. When we have a child, that child is innocent. The child doesn't have a clue. A child is just a blank slate that nothing is written on it. But as a child begins to grow, that's when things begin to be, written on that slate, meaning the surroundings, the environment, the family setup, the people around the child. How do they relate? How do they behave? And that's where the child picks up either positive behavior or negative behavior. What do I mean by that? Take for an example, in a family where maybe the mother is always, doing things in a way to spite other people, so to say, and there's a child in the house that is looking up to the mother, and the child is learning from that mom. The child is, not intentionally, but the child is watching the mother being spiteful, being, cruel to other people. The child is going to pick up that behavior as well. And before you know it, the child will think this is a norm. This is a way of life. This is how I should behave. So what I'm trying to say is that in a family, especially where children are, parents need to be very, very conscious of how they behave around them. In a family where the mother is always telling lies, even when the child knows that the mother is telling lies, the child is going to pick up that behavior as well. And the child will begin to lie because it's a norm. It's what the child grows with. And the child will think, okay, this is right. This is what my mom does. It must be a good thing. At 3 years old, at 4 years old, at 5 years old, at 6 years old, we just continue to pick up on that negative behavior. And as a child grows, it will be like, okay, this is what I've been doing for all my life. This is what my mom does. And that's where the negative behavior can be impactful on children in the family.
Thank you so much. Let's quickly go on that prayer on this break. And when we come back, we continue from where we stopped. So stay with us.
My name is Essay, and I'm here to talk to you about Let's Talk. It's a show on DNT Walk, which is DNTWOK. It's a very inspiring show, very informative. You will learn a lot on this show. So I invite you to please join DNT Walk, like, subscribe, and share with everyone you know.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program is Let's Talk, and the topic has been a good name is better than riches. And my guest also has been Mrs. Olawumi Aninye. She is a teacher with New York City Department of Education Public Schools. So let's continue. Thank you once again for standing by for us. It's indeed a great privilege to have you here. Thank you once again. Moving forward, it is heartbreaking that after building a career with great track record, only to be swelled with mistakes made in the past that could be avoided. We have a couple of stories like that you see people do things from way back and all, and it's really painful to actually get to that point and just misbehave or do something that is really, really uncalled for.
Yes, it's a very sorrowful to really to see that and to hear that. And I've heard so many stories of people that really work very hard, just as you mentioned, and along the line something happens, and the good name that they built, or the good foundation, or the reputation, along the line get damaged, and people kind of lose their their confidence in such person, or in such in a group of people. Things happen, but I would still want to say that is where the place of consciousness comes in. Whatever we do in life, we always have to think and put on her thinking cap and say, oh, this thing that I'm doing as a Christian, which that's always our foundation. How does it look before God? Is it okay? Is it not okay? And the reason is because once you are able to do that, you will not go wrong. But we also have people out there that are not Christians, that are not believers. They originally may start out good, and along the line they may err, or fall back, or fall by the wayside. Just we have a typical example now where we are in New York City.
Exactly. I was actually going to mention that in this country as a whole, past deeds always catch up with someone. Looking at some of the Reverend Fathers, the bishops, and all that are either in jail today or are still going through the trial.
Yes, and that's exactly, and I thank you for saying that, because that's what we see. I feel sorry for them. I feel bad for them, because they started well and they meant well, but along the line things happen. And when things happen, it comes back to haunt. What we can do, how we can get out of it, is always be conscious. Always have the mind, always have the thought of what I'm doing now. Is it okay? Or if it's not okay. And sometimes it's always good to come out clean, even before the nemesis catches up. It's always okay as well to say, okay, I'm sorry, I did that, even before people begins to say, oh, you did this, you did that. Because if the person can acknowledge that, oh, I'm wrong, the place of fall might be a little slimmer compared to if other people have to find, the wrongdoings out, then it's always very devastating. We've heard of the priests, the Catholic leaders, people like that, they said, oh, they did this, they did that. They did those things in the time maybe they didn't they were not aware, or they didn't know, or maybe they knew, but they could have as well come out clean and say, oh, I did it, and I asked for forgiveness. I am so sorry. People will even respect that you realize and you are able to come out and you are able to seek forgiveness for the wrongdoing.
So how can one maintain a lifetime pedigree and not swell the name that has been built over the years?
Well, first and foremost, is through the help of God. It's through the help of God. And we have to continue to have that mindset that, well, what I'm doing, is it okay? Is it not okay? We can do survey of ourselves and ask other people that, how do you see me? Or, call it the temperature check. You want to ask people, how am I doing? What do you see me do that I need to change? Or what am I doing well, or what am I doing wrong? Especially when you're in places of authority, especially when we're in places of leadership, we want to ask that question. It's very important because we don't see ourselves, other people see us. And we want to ask those people that see us, that relate with us, how am I doing? And from what they tell us, you don't have to let them know, oh, okay, this one said this, that one said that. You could do anonymous, or check or feedback, a survey. And once we get that, it's still a time for us to reflect back and change our ways. If whatever people are telling us and it's not right, then we want to change. If what people are telling us are good, then we want to continue to do that. We want to do more of that. If they say, oh, you've been very helpful, you're very patient, you're always helping us, you relate with, things like that, good stuff. We want to continue with those good stuff. But in a situation whereby maybe the feedback are not so good, then we want to, kind of do a quick reflection and say, okay, let me fix this. There's still time. There's still opportunity for me to fix my, whichever perception that people are having about me. If that answers that question, Sister Jackie.
It actually it's answered the question. So now, for you as a teacher, what would you say to young ones coming up as regards, when we're growing up, we all have dreams and aspirations, and like you said, at some point, life happens, and when this life happens, what is the way out? Or how do we avoid getting into that level where such a thing will happen to us?
I would take for an example in the school system. If a child is doing something that is not right, the place of conversation is always great, as in, coming, talking and letting, this is not right. And you have to, change your ways. And that always comes with people having good mentors, people to mentor the young ones. We have to always look up to people that we know that can impact us positively, people that we know that can, that we can talk to, people that we can relate to, people that will not pass judgment, people that would, that will nurture us. That's, those are the kind of, advice that I would give young ones that are coming up, that you want to, you don't want to be upright in your own eyes, but you want to have people that will tell you, that will guide you in a loving way, in a nurturing way, that will mentor you, that will not judge you, that will not pass judgment on you, that will not say, oh, you did this, like somebody that, people that will guide you, that will lead you, that will tell you what you're doing right, that will tell you what you're not doing right, but in a loving way. Those can help for young ones that are coming up and they don't want to make mistakes. And also, the place of, being conscious, having a good conscience, to like, okay, is what I'm doing right? Is what I'm doing wrong? We take temperature of our own self as well as young ones. Okay, you do your reflections, you do your survey of yourself. You ask people, how am I doing? There's nothing wrong in asking someone around you, how am I doing? How do you, and have that open mind as well. Be open-minded. Let's not be closed mind. Open mind is going for greatness. Open mind is going for the highest place of glory when we're open-minded. But at the same time, the people around us should be able to correct us in love. They should be able to correct us, without any form of judgment. They should be able to nurture us, and they should be able to check in. And with all that being said, I mean, the young ones are set for greatness if they're open-minded and they have good people around them to guide them, to teach them, to mentor them, to love them in a loving way, and correct them lovingly. And I believe that they're set for greatness with that kind of support in their repertoire.
Okay, so your advice to political leaders, people in leadership who feels that's the end of the world?
People in leadership, in terms of, they don't really, the people in leadership not thinking that one day the riches might go, the silver, the gold might disappear, but a good name is better. I want to take us back to some of our leaders back home in Nigeria. One of them, I think it was President Babangida, and some other ones like that are not doing so well today. At a point in life, they were in wealth, they were in riches. They thought they were living life, but along the line, because they were not living right, because they were not doing well by the people, they're not going to have a good name. They're not going to have a great name. They're going to have, whatever they're getting now. So my for leaders will be to desire that great name, that good name, to be desired than silver and gold, because those things are transient. Those things are not permanent. The thing that is permanent is that great name. Great name open doors. Great name take you to the place of glory. Even when you're no longer in office, people will be able to say, oh, that man was a good man. That man was a righteous man. That man was a wonderful man. And the generation to come will also benefit from their goodness. The generation to come will also benefit from their great name, their good name, because people, they will always stop. People, whatever they do will live long after them. So my saying to leaders would be, check yourself. Live a good life. Live a great name. Leave a name that is worthy of emulation. Leave a name that your children will be proud of. Your great children will be proud of when people begin to judge them.
Thank you once again. It's been wonderful having you on the show. Thank you for coming and for yielding to our call. Thank you once again.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and to you out there, I would like to leave you with this. Even though life happens, let us not be found in a compromising state where we will not be able to defend ourselves. That's a food for thought. So I want us to think about it, and let's do right by ourselves. Until next time, when I come your way again with another exciting guest, I remain Olujoke Masaku. Bye for now.